Cancer patients, whenever they are undergoing immune depressive treatments like chemotherapy, are for sure at higher risk of contracting the COVID virus. And whenever they get infected by COVID virus, if we can rely on the Chinese experience, the patients with immune depressed system from chemotherapy do have higher risks of getting infection, and they are also at higher risks of getting severe complication from the COVID infection, and especially whenever they are quite elderly. I really understand patients that could be scared of these big pandemics, but I think that we should everyone try to give the patients a timely treatment so that they don't lose any chances of cure or any chances of good responses of the treatment. So we do our best to give our patients their treatments timely. We are very well prepared for the management of this disease. We have available facilities, and especially in Vietnam, we are in a quite privileged situation. So I think people should really feel comfortable and have trust and go and have their treatments on a regular basis. We have received many patients that used to have their treatment overseas, and we are committed to help these patients continue their treatments even if they cannot go abroad anymore. And yes, in my mind, it is very important to keep on getting the treatment on the timely. As it comes to Hy Hospital, Hy Hospital is an international hospital, JCI accredited, with a very active and expert infection committee, which makes the hospital really ready to face such a pandemic. So for patients that are stable or that are only under surveillance, for these patients we just don't ask them to come to the hospital, and we help them abide by the social distancing, but we keep on having contacts with them and consultations with telephone and telemedicine. For those patients who are undergoing the treatment, we would do our best so that they continue their treatment. So first of all, we would screen these patients 24 or 48 hours before they come by the telephone and go through the same screening the same day they come, so that we are sure they don't have any symptoms, or they didn't travel the last days, or they don't need to be quarantined and all that. Once this screening done, the patients would come to the hospital, and we would shorten their stay in the hospital as much as possible, and we would make their stay in our chemotherapy ward very, very short. So they would have the blood test one day before they come, and once they come to the hospital, they would directly go into the cubicle where they don't mix up with other people, and we would always educate them about all the preventive measures. So all the facilities are available, sanitizers for hands, masks, hand washing is available, and patients and family members, few of them, so that less people are there, as well as our team are all prepared in order to respect all the prevention measures to avoid to contract the COVID virus. For the protocols of chemotherapy, we will for sure opt for protocols that would reduce less the immunity. We will opt more for oral treatments so that the patients can stay at home with their treatments and not have to come to the hospital. And we would also educate them about all the symptoms that would make them consult again if ever there are any problems afterwards. But above all, we would always try to let our patients have their treatment timely and not lose any chances of cure because of the COVID pandemics. So for my patients and their families, we really understand the concerns they can have, because it's a double challenge, having to treat a cancer and at the same time in the circumstances of pandemics with COVID. So what I would like to tell them as a message is that we are here to give them advice in order to achieve both. Prevent having COVID infection while doing the proper treatment for cancer. So we will be more than happy to offer our advice in order to adapt to the best the treatments of our patients despite these very difficult circumstances.